This episode of Tolle Run is brought to you by Twin Cities in Motion and MTech Results. Hi, I'm Olympian Carrie Tollefson, and today we're going to share with you part 4 of our marathon training guide. So let's get after it. The last 3 to 4 weeks of marathon training is called the taper phase.
So typically we take that first week where we taper down about 80% of what our peak week mileage was. And then the next week after that is about 60%. And then our final week is somewhere between 50 and 40% of what our peak week was as we lead up to the marathon. And why we really need to do that is that, you know, physically we've been really hammering those muscles, and it's time to recover. So we really focus more on rest during the taper phase than we do on, you know, the hard workouts. We keep the intensity of our workouts up there. So we're still doing marathon goal pace. We're still doing some 400s on the track at threshold. We're still doing some of that kind of stuff. We're still doing long runs, just not as long. So our mileage is going down, but the intensity stays about the same.
One of my favorite parts of tapering is enjoying my pre-race meal. I typically have pasta and chicken.
You know, you want a fairly carb-intense meal of some kind, but you don't want to necessarily overdo it. And you don't want to eat something you haven't eaten before either. That's the other critical thing.
The night before the race, be sure to get a good night's rest and allow plenty of time to get to the starting line.
Well, the first rule is you never do anything on race day you haven't done in practice before. So you never want to take a new gel that you never tried. You never want to drink something that you didn't drink before. You want to be patternizing your breakfast routine, pre-race breakfast routine during your long runs throughout the training. And even at this time, it's even more critical to really start to make sure that you're dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's in terms of those routines, because we want to have those routines down, especially if it's an out-of-town race for you as well, because then you've got the component of the hotel and some of those kinds of things. So you've got to kind of pre-plan some of those things out.
Post-race, it's important to drink at least 20 ounces of water before you start celebrating with those adult beverages. And remember to allow your body to recover for the next few days.
Typically recommend that even for the most enduring marathoner to take at least 2 days off after the marathon before you go out and do that 3 to 5 mile easy run. I also like to introduce trail running on softer ground and such, because it's a little easier on your body and that type of thing. So I will typically, you know, mix in, you know, some cycling, some walking, and some trail running in that first week or two after the race.
Thanks for joining me for part 4 of our marathon training guide. Get after it. Thanks for joining me for part.
Okay. Yeah.
Stop it. I'm going to have a laugh attack here. Okay.